Hi there, Mark Bowden here, Michael Leckie with Career Ask Me Anything. This one comes from our is it better to quit or get fired category, which many people throw questions into. Hi, I'm 60 years old and way behind on retirement. My salary is way too high for me to be able to leave. I would have to take tens of thousands of dollars pay cut. What should I do? Quit or get fired? Michael Leckie, dig in there.
Well, I mean, it doesn't sound like either is a potentially great option at the moment that I'd be going for. It's difficult. I have run into people who are in jobs that they are paid that they hate and they want to leave and are paid very highly. So I think I'm going to start and take it from that perspective, is that you can be well paid and be miserable and think that you have to hang on to that pay because you feel like, when this person believes, I'm paid too high to ever be able to leave, I'd have to take a huge pay cut. How do they know that? Have they been out? Have they looked on the market? Have they checked to see what's there? Also, have they thought about what happens if they take that pay cut? Because if you can go into a job and still take tens of thousands of dollars pay cut, you're probably making hundreds of thousands of dollars. You might be able to make that work. It might just be adjustment to your lifestyle. Because when you do go to retire, you're likely, unless you've done really exceptionally well, going to have to adjust your lifestyle to making less and living off what you've invested or put away in 401k or retirement, depending upon the country you're at and what kind of social retirement schemes there are. So I think that what I'd say to this person first is, I'd want to look real closely at my assumptions about what is and what isn't possible. And I'd also want to look at, why am I thinking about leaving? Is it just that I'm slightly dissatisfied or I'm really unhappy with where I'm at? And how are the people around me going to react? I mean, I can tell you personally, when I made the transition from working as in a corporate job to working as a solopreneur, as it were, I didn't know that I'd be successful. And to actually do it successfully, I had to throw everything into it. And I literally said to my wife, I don't know if we'll be able to keep our home. I don't know if we'll have to move into my parents' basement back where I grew up and try and rebuild from there. But this is what I really believe I want to do. Fortunately, she was very supportive, and even more so, fortunately, that didn't happen and things have worked out fairly well. But you have to think about what the realities are and if you can face them and if you can manage them. And sometimes for the right job or for the right career for you, it's worth taking the risk and it's worth changing your life a bit and questioning your own assumptions. That's what comes to mind for me. Mark, where would you take this question of I'm way behind in retirement, my salary's too high to leave, what should I do?
Yeah, well, luckily that story, Michael, doesn't end with I'm Michael Leckie coming to you from my parents' basement. That would that would have completely destroyed the whole story. Look, where do I go on this? Well, ultimately, I kind of want to destroy the question because it's a wicked question because there's only a binary choice in it. It's a complex situation, and the person here, and there's many people like this person, have gone, should I do this or this? And therefore presented this kind of moral dilemma of should I do kind of this bad thing or this bad thing? You know, which of the two evils do you say I pick? And I just think there's more nuance here. So I'm going to introduce to this person and everybody here what is known as the Sean Prendergast theory, I guess, which is that Sean Prendergast, very good friend of mine, who said a third of whatever you earn is for the absolute nonsense you have to deal with. Okay? So now, think about all that money you make or you don't make. Okay? And now go, but a third of that is just paying for the nonsense. Okay? It's not upside. It's my pay for the downside of this. And anything left over, now that's the stuff that I'm really dealing with, of going, okay, what do I want to do with that? Because whatever role I go into, this Sean Prendergast principle is going to play in, and I've got to discount some of those earnings to this is just dealing with life. It's not all roses. Now, once you put that into play, you've already got, one of the punishments and the prizes. I'm already a third of my salary is going towards that punishment for me. Now what punishment and prizes am I left with? And what do I want to do with the nuance of that? Not this just kind of, well, I quit or I get fired. You know, it all has to stop. There isn't a stop. Maybe there's, like you're saying, Michael, a new beginning of this, a new idea around this. Look, if anything else, I hope that Sean Prendergast principle is helpful to people who are having a tough day at work today. Just think about a third of that salary, third of that fee, and go, okay, well, is that, first off, is that enough? Am I getting enough based on that? There.
That's right. And at least you can just sign and go, Prendergast tax, and people will go, what's that? And you just look at them knowingly and move on and keep a little bit of mystery. It's always fun. Right. But I agree, and I think that sums it up nicely. And what you're both of us say is that if you heard us kind of like struggling, how do we respond to this? That's good. You heard the right thing, because as Mark pointed out very clearly, it's not a great question. And for the person asking, I'm not saying it was bad of you to ask it. What I'm saying is it's a question that takes for granted that your assumptions are true and the way it is the way it is. And that's not a good way to work in the world. You can't just take what's given to you, the problem as it's framed, and say, I'm just going to work with that. You have to think about, how do we change the problem a little bit here? Is that my beliefs? What has to happen and have to shift? But if you don't like the problem that's facing you and that gives you a forced choice that's no good, you need to change the problem, not seek out other answers. So hopefully that was a useful answer to you. Again, this is our Career Ask Me Anything with Mark Bowden and Michael Leckie, and you can submit your questions wherever we show up on the great worldwide interwebs. But a great place to do it is at my website, michaelleckie.com/ask. Put those in and we will get back to you as soon as we can with our thoughts on your great questions. Thank you so much.